Hey there, everybody. This is a tradition that we have gone on doing for a long time now. It is the Big Brother winner prediction video where we rejoice in our victories or just recognize our failures.
And it's extra weird this year because we don't have an actual cast at this point to actually say who's the winner.
Yeah, like usually you're throwing darts at a dartboard when you're doing a winner prediction. This time, we're basically throwing a dart at a spot on the wall that we're planning to put the dartboard, but we haven't actually got the dartboard yet, so we're just like, I think it's gonna go here. I think that's a bullseye.
Yeah, so what we've done is we've taken some of the different cast lists that are most recent that are out there and taken players that are on lots of the cast lists that people feel pretty confident are going to be on. And we've done our sort of winner's pick and our possible runner-up kind of pick.
Yeah, we've got like a good backup option. That way, if
Yeah.
our winner pick doesn't win,
We could be like, we were still right.
Yeah, we were still really, really close. Watch all of these people get eliminated. Watch like half of these people not be on the show, and the other half of them are going to be like the first boots.
Yeah, that's the weird thing about this winner's pick is we don't actually know who's on the show. So we are just kind of going by the seat of our pants here and having fun.
Yeah, which we're all just going by the seat of our pants at this point. This has been the summer of going by the seat of your pants if you are CBS. I don't actually even know fully that CBS knows who the cast is going to be at this point. Like, you know, with like sporting events, sometimes somebody's like a game time decision due to like an injury. This is going to be like a game time decision for whatever reason with some of these people. But before we get into any of this, if you guys enjoy this prediction video, give us a like, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell. Also, you can support us further by checking the link in the description to the store or check out our Patreon. The link is down there in the description. We got a lot of different tiers and some fun stuff. Thank you to everyone who has signed up for that so far.
So also don't forget to leave us your winner predictions in the comments as well, because we want to hear who you think is going to win and why you think they're going to win.
For sure. And we're working to have a live tomorrow at some point, so those have been really fun this past week, and I think it's a good idea for all of us to reconvene and share all of our crazy theories one more time before the premiere. It's actually here. It's only 2 days away. It's actually 2 days away to a Big Brother season that I don't know if a lot of us ever thought we were actually going to have.
And we're hoping after the, live move-in premiere and all this stuff that's going in, that we might have another live right after it. We haven't decided yet.
Yeah.
It's all going to kind of depend on the live feeds and stuff like that, because as you guys know, or if you're new to the channel and you don't know, we're all about the live feeds here, and we do multiple live feed updates a day. So if the live feeds kick off right away, which we don't think they're going to do, but who knows with this season.
I wouldn't mind. Fingers crossed.
If the live feeds don't kick off right away, we are thinking about doing a live. So be sure to come back.
Keep your eyes peeled. Okay, before we get into our specific predictions, I'm going to give everyone this is the cast list we're considering from. This is not the actual cast list. There are more people on here than there are probably going to be on the cast. I think this is like 18 or so people. So not everybody we mention here is going to actually be in the cast. But like Jess said, these are the people we have compiled based on a lot of the information that is out there that we at least feel like have a pretty good shot of being on the season. So I'll list them off quickly. You've got Janelle Pierzina, multiple-time Big Brother player, Ian Terry, winner, Kevin Campbell, Big Brother 11, winner Josh Martinez, Danielle Donato, Nicole Anthony, Tyler Crispin, Bailey Dayton, Christmas Abbott, Devon Rogers, Nicole Franzel, Cody Calafiore, Amber Bazotra, I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly, Enzo, I can never remember Enzo's last name, Enzo the Meow Meow, the Meow Meow is now his last name, Keisha from Big Brother 10, who by the way recently celebrated her birthday again, David Alexander, Kaser, and then Memphis Garrett to cap it off from Big Brother 10. So that is the list of people we are considering. I'm not that confident Casey's on the season anymore, hence her not really being on here.
Yeah, so before I get into my for sure winner pick, I'm going to pick the person who I think has the second chance. We'll do our second chances first. Yeah.
Okay.
So these are the people who we think are kind of could win the season if the cards kind of fall right.
Okay.
And then we will get into our winner pick. So my person who's my second choice of who I think could win the season is actually Enzo. And the reason why is because during his season, he was really very good at playing a strategic but also social game. And with this being everybody coming back for All-Stars, everybody knows everybody's games. So I kind of feel, and I could be wrong and take a giant L at the end of this, but I kind of feel that social game is going to play a really big part of this. And I have a hard time thinking that any of the winners will win again unless they go to the end with another winner, because I could see this being a situation where people on the jury, if like an Enzo went to the end with like an Ian or something like that, that the jury will look and be like, well, Ian's already won. So unless he did something so remarkable that we can't look away, if Enzo also played a great game, I could see the jury being like, you know what, let's throw Enzo a win. He's never won before. We've seen Ian has had a win. So I know sometimes that works out like that.
If you are Enzo, if Josh is on this season with you, you take Josh to the end, because if you think that Josh is occasionally insufferable now, imagine two-time winner Josh banging his pots and pans, proclaiming he is the greatest Big Brother player of all time. I could be put into the house a week before the finale. If I am in the final two with Josh, I think I got a shot.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is there's a lot of sort of people that were kind of like the brigade going on. There's a lot of people that, like, Enzo fits into all sort of different groups of people, and having people like Josh or Tyler, like, I feel like there's gonna, even Christmas, like, everybody's gonna be kind of in this Cody deal, like an alliance of sort of bros again. And Enzo kind of fits into that group, but he's also a bit more of sort of a really good social player. So I can see him being really insulated by a lot of bigger threats that are not going to see him as a threat, but they should. And because I also think that Enzo's going to be really hungry to play. Like, he made it really far and then didn't, make it to the end. So I think he feels like he probably has a lot to prove. He made some pretty good moves, very social, people like him, good jury management, and he's going to be under the radar. So I could see people thinking, I could bring Enzo to the end and win, and then not win.
I like Enzo in this spot. I mean, I wanted to have different people. So I don't have Enzo here, but I do think Enzo has potential to go fairly far. I think he is pretty strategic. I think he's got a pretty good social game. I don't know why anyone would want to target him immediately. So I can get a good sense, and I can picture him making it fairly far. And of course, I have to picture my person who is my second choice to be a winner as someone who's going to make it fairly far. And maybe it is recency bias. Maybe it is, I like this person, so I'm rooting for her bias. But I'm trying to not think that way. I have Nicole Anthony here because I think if Nicole is on this season, there's a lot to pick apart here. Number one, America loves her. We know that there's one thing that Big Brother players love more than anything else, and that is having all of the support from the public. There's a lot of I want people to like me that goes on in the Big Brother world. And if you are a Big Brother player, you're going to want to partner up with the person who America really likes, because maybe there's a power that goes into the house. Maybe there's something that happens. You're at least going to be thinking about it. And Nicole's going to be somebody who I think has a good chance of getting that power and using it to further along her game. Also, the people I really thought a lot about here are people who made it fairly far and kind of showed that they have a lot of skill, but maybe they have a couple of things that weren't perfect for them. Like in the first time Nicole played, didn't always have the most astute allies, was on the bottom of the house for a lot of it. She still makes it really, really far. She is able to win a lot of people over. And I actually think Nicole's intuition at times on this season was really very, very good. It's just she didn't always have the proactiveness to be able to act on her intuition enough. Like, she put way too much trust here and there in Cliff and what was at times some really delusional thinking on the part of Cliff when it comes to certain deals being honored. So I just think that Nicole, she's going to learn from what happened last season. She's not going to be thought of as a threat right away. She's not a challenge beast. Maybe that's one of the things I'm a little bit worried about, but she did win when she did win an HOH. That hockey goal that she scored, that was like one of the most excited I was the entire season. Remember, I had to deal with Jackson and Jack for a full season. It was really just trying to find a little moments to celebrate. So I feel really good about Nicole coming into this because I think she's going to learn from her mistakes, and I think people are going to want to work with her, and I think that goes a long way.
I think that the biggest thing that Nicole is bringing into this is a new found sort of self-confidence that she didn't have before. Like, I don't really follow everybody on social media or outside the game or anything like that. I'm a person who's more, I want to watch and play the game, and then when they want to go back and, go back to their lives, then that's cool. They can do that, and then I'm into other shows. So, but what I have seen from a little bit about her on social media is it seems like as she's come out of the house and seen how popular she is and how much people really enjoy her and that we like how genuine she is, it feels like a little bit of confidence has grown in her, which I love to see with her. And I'm hoping that she's going to be able to bring that back into the house with her, because if she had just a little bit of that confidence that she has now outside the house, in the house, I think she would follow her intuition a little bit more and just have that confidence in herself, and that could win her the game.
Here's the thing I'm the most concerned about with Nicole, whether or not she's actually on the season, because there is so much like subterfuge and tomfoolery going on here with Nicole and here's the potato salad recipe on social media. I think
all her podcasting stuff and everything she's doing. It's hard. I've seen lots of people saying like, oh, it's pre-recorded or this is going on and CBS allowed this and that and what. Like, I do not know.
I don't know either, but that's why if she's not on, I will be sad, but I will not regret this pick regardless, because I think if she's there, I think she's got a very, very good chance.
All right, we are going to the winner's pick. So it was actually really hard for me, and it was only until we just started filming this video that I switched who I thought was going to win. Because all last night I was like, I think it's going to be Enzo. And then this morning we went for a walk and I was like, I still think it's going to be Enzo. And then the more that I really thought about it, the more I was like, I think Enzo has a good shot, but I think things are, again, going to have to kind of fall in line with what's going on with everyone else for Enzo to win. And I ended up switching.
I thought you were picking Enzo when we sat down to do this. This is all a surprise to me.
Yeah, there was a couple things that I thought about that made me decide that my winner pick is Amber.
All right, okay. Amber.
Amber is my winner pick, and here's why. So I rewatched some of what went on with her during her season with Caleb, and it was really interesting to see how she dealt with that situation, because she was in a house where she was becoming a really large target because of what Caleb was doing to her, and she had to deal with the fact that he was being really crazy on her and find a way to socially stop that from exploding the best that she could, while still trying to make friendships and alliances. And for a while, she actually figured that out, which I don't know many people that would be able to figure that out, because she ended up having a pretty obviously strong sort of back and forth with Caleb, where she was able to kind of calm him down a little bit, keep him at an arm's length without making him go off until later, of course. But then she also had a really good friendship with Cody. They had that talk on the bed where she was kind of like, you're my best friend in the house. And he was like, yeah. He is rumored to be back on this season. So what I'm thinking is with Amber's social game being as smart as it was and as strong as it was, and with a whole house full of really big targets, most people, when they think about Amber, they just remember the Caleb of it all, and they're like, oh man, if Caleb wasn't in the game, she probably would have gone further. And I agree.
Yeah.
But they only focus on that, and I wonder how many people remember how close she was with Cody. And it wasn't just sort of the flirtmance that was going on. It really was. They were good friends and they built a good friendship. And it seems like outside of the house that, like I said, I don't really keep up with everybody, but it seems like maybe their friendship is still okay. So my thinking is I think Cody's going to come in, and I think he's probably going to bro up with the Tylers and Christmas and, other people that are in that crew, the Joshes.
Yeah.
So Cody will be insulated, and I think Cody and Amber's friendship, if that is still solid, that she's going to sort of be part of that group. People are going to underestimate her because they only remember her as the Caleb stalker situation. And they kind of forget how she was able to use this situation, keep herself alive longer, build other friendships in the house while dealing with something that was really hard to deal with. She's able to deal with a lot. And because of that, I think she's going to be able to navigate this house really well. And people will underestimate her. I think she's going to win. That's what I'm saying. I am on that hill. I think Amber's for the win.
See, this is the thing I will say about Amber, and I really feel like it is a sort of classic All-Stars move, and maybe Tony broke this rule for me for Winners at War, which is at a returning player season, it's usually like the person that you're like, really? That person? They're coming back for the season? Like Parvati, fans versus favorites, Amber, Survivor All-Stars. I know Boogie is a big name, but, Boogie didn't make it that far on Big Brother 2, and so I think in general, sometimes it is kind of the question mark people who do find a way to win. And so with that, I can see situations where Amber can make it very, very far. I don't know enough about a lot of parts of her game, but I think she's a good pick. I understand the pick. I do think this winner is probably not going to be a Tyler. It's probably not going to be someone like Ian, I just think winners are going to have a big disadvantage.
Yeah, I think winners are going to have a very big disadvantage. And I think if winners do not bring another winner to the end, they are going to have a really hard time. Because if someone like an Amber and Enzo or Nicole, who are all very hungry to come back in and prove themselves where they didn't end up with a little bit of bad luck on their side. Enzo was not in that case, but Amber was, and so was Nicole. That if they're able to come in and just not be on the wrong sort of side of the numbers or have somebody stalking them in the house, that they may be able to play a better game, get to the end, and sit at the end against a Josh or a Nicole Franzel or somebody like that, and be like, yeah, these guys already won and they didn't play as good of a game as me, so why wouldn't you give me the win? And I think there's a lot of people on the jury that'd be like, yeah.
This was tough for me too, trying to figure out who I think is going to win, because I had a pretty strong inkling about it. I'm going to go forward with this. Kevin Campbell, I think, is a really good player. But the biggest thing I was nervous about with Kevin is I think there's a marginal chance Kevin's not ending up on this season, and I'm going to have like so much egg on my face because I look at sort of he's been rumored by so many people. I'm thrilled that he's being rumored by so many people. I'd love if he is back, but I kind of look at, okay, Kevin, Josh, Memphis, David. I think in sort of looking at this group, I think one of them is probably not going to be on this season, and I don't know who it's going to be. I think somebody is some sort of like sneak alternate amidst this group, and if Kevin's not on, and I will have wasted 4 or 5 minutes talking about him. But
well, we all will have. This is all just
fun. It is all just fun. And so Kevin, I think, I just look at this group, and Kevin's path, for those who don't remember Big Brother 11, which makes sense because we're talking like a decade ago at this point, he is very smart. I think he's very, very social. I think he's incredibly strategic. I think he was probably the most strategic person on season 11, and he kind of was able to navigate through a lot of weirdness in this season because you had sort of the reign of Mr. Pictacular. You had Big Jeff getting the coup d'etat and completely screwing over Jesse's game. You have all these different permutations. You have Shima getting expelled for throwing her microphone in the pool. You have a lot of just craziness that unfolds. but he's still sort of there, and he's really responsible for what I think is the biggest move of the season, and that is building all this distrust between Big Jeff and Russell, who, by the way, should have been back on Big Brother a long time ago. This guy is a tremendous villain.
Yeah, he's great, but I don't think he's ever coming back.
No, he was just so terrible, but he was like terrible and enjoyable. The Technotronics fight, glorious. You spelled shotgun. Like, this is all of it was wonderful, but Kevin made a lot of moves. He's a very shrewd liar in a lot of ways. He pulled off some stuff, and like with Nicole, Kevin was really just win the final HOH away from potentially winning that season. He was really, really close. And then I look at these people, like, are you going to tell me that, like, someone like Kaser, who I don't think has kept up with Big Brother every single season since he's won. I don't know if Cody Calafiore has been spending a lot of time studying Big Brother 11. I just think there's not going to be a lot of people who are aware fully of how good of a player Kevin is. I think he's going to be underestimated early. I think he's going to be able to win a lot of like the cognitive challenges. He's not going to be a physical beast, but he's a smaller guy. He might be able to do well in some of the endurances. I just feel like with the makeup of the house this way, I think he's going to be able to kind of move between a lot of different alliances, be somebody who a lot of different people can trust. He'll stab some people in the back. My concerns with Kevin are twofold. Number one, I'm worried that because these are all-stars, you know how big their egos are. He's going to lie to somebody, and then they're going to be on the jury being like, how dare this person lie to me? I have 100,000 Instagram followers. I don't want to give them the money anymore. I got clowned. And I'm afraid he's going to get some of that. I'm also a little bit worried just about the idea that I don't know if he has that many friends in this cast going into the season. If there are a lot of pregame alliances, maybe that hurts him. I mean, if Memphis is on, that's the season before. If Keisha's on, season before. Enzo, season after. But he may not actually even know them.
Yeah, Kevin is very, like, fluid when he comes to his gameplay, and that adaptability is something that makes him a very good winner's pick. Because he is able to sort of construct these big moves that happen that don't always kind of blow back on him. Sometimes they do, but I mean, that's not just him, that's everybody. But he is really social. He is able to have some loyalty for when things are working, but be able to sort of fluidly move into, you know, where the numbers are, and people accept him in. And that is something that's not that easy to do. There's only a few Big Brother players in history that have really been able to kind of do that and move around within alliances and get really far because they're able to do that, because everybody likes them and just feels like they're sort of the household person that they can trust and work with. And Kevin has that. So, I mean, I think Kevin's a good choice if he's on. I really hope he's on.
I hope he's on.
I'd love to see him play again.
I will say this. I think out of the four people we've chosen here, like we don't really have too many arguments because I think both of us feel like the other person made some pretty solid picks. My feeling with Kevin, though, even more so than anyone else we've talked about here, he's either going to go early or he's going to make it really far. I don't think that he's going to be somebody who's sort of like the middle of the pack or the first member of the jury. Like, I can see scenarios where it sort of goes both ways with him. But if you're trying to build a Big Brother pool here or try to do some sort of fantasy draft, it's like, if these people are actually on the season, I don't think you can go too wrong with the four of them. Just don't pick people like Josh, like Christmas if she's on. I don't foresee that going that. There are some people who I look at it and say, okay, you're probably going to go fairly early. So I feel pretty good about these four. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, because it all does depend sort of on that first night. And I know that it's a lot of people feel that it's about the pregame alliances, and I think that will have some play, but I think CBS obviously knows that there's going to be some pre-gaming, and I think they have some twists in play to make sure that that is shooken up or broken up in the best ways that they're able to. But it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out, because we did just watch Survivor Winners at War and watch sort of big player after big player after big player just get kicked out and kicked out and kicked out. This game feels a little bit different at this point, that I think some people in Big Brother are going to want to take big players to the end, because if you're in an all-stars and let's say you are a winner, you're going to need to beat somebody as big as you or bigger than you, because if you're a winner like an Ian and then you take somebody like, I'm just going to throw out like a David who's only played for like a minute. We don't know what else he's going to do in this game, but he might be able to make that try to make that argument at the end to be like, oh, well, I'm better than David because I'm a winner and whatever it is. But at the same time, it's kind of like, okay, well, you brought David to the end. He was, the last time he played, he was there for a minute. Are you really that great a player? Or if Ian's going to then bring another sort of winner to the end, be like up against whoever, Nicole or whoever else is playing, or Josh or whatever, to be able to beat another winner is where you need to be if you're a winner. Do not take the easy road. You are not worthy of a 2-time winner if you take the easy road.
I think the only way you can take the easy road is if you find somebody who is like, you cursing out the members of the jury as they leave the game, or like doing something to just tank their chances. So like if you have a guaranteed, maybe you try it. But once again, Josh won Big Brother and Josh insulted everyone. And that is sort of the Paul theory here, where
it's like Josh didn't win because Josh was the best player. It was just people didn't want Paul to win, so Josh won. That's why I'm kind of curious if he's on this season, and I'm not the biggest Josh fan, but I am curious to see how he's going to play without Paul there and see if someone else does step into kind of that spot of influence with him or if nobody does.
Luckily, we will have answers soon. We will be here tomorrow to discuss more things related to the show. We'll see what else happens in terms of news. It's been kind of quiet so far today. They're really not promoting this all that much, but
No.
If you guys did like this discussion, of course, let us know your winner pick. Let us know why in the comments. And if you did like this video, give us a like, subscribe, support us further. Check the link in the description to the store, to our Patreon, and we will see you here next time.